Welcome everyone. This is our Chromebook special webinar, which is going to be hosted by Mary. I'm also kind of co-hosting as well, and we'll be going through the questions, and we'll all be dipping in and out every now and then. But it was just something that was really kind of came about in, what are Chromebooks? What can you do with assistive technology on Chromebooks? What software available on there works? And I think people are there's a lot of questions to be asked and a lot of things that people might want to know. And that's why we thought we would bring this to you guys today. And it's very much is a bit of a discussion kind of session. So, we're happy for people to put their thoughts and ideas in the chat, post any questions on the Q&A. We're just going to kind of go with the flow for the next hour and see how it goes. Starting off, obviously, with a bit of a presentation, everything first with Mary. So I'm going to be quiet now and pass this on to Mary, and we're going to get started. So as I said, there are questions can be going in the Q&A in the chat, and yes, thank you, Mary. Let's go.
And right, let's. I'll share my screen because quite unusually for me, I'm using a PowerPoint presentation. Usually I just do live demonstrations of text aid usually, so a bit different. Right, so what I'm going to do in today's session is talk about what different devices are, because just to make it clear what you can use for studying or for working, just to make that clear. And then I'm going to talk about Chromebooks, what they are, how are they different to laptops, to Windows laptops or to a MacBook, how are they different, what are the good things and bad things about Chromebooks, and then move on to assistive technology, how you receive your assistive technology and which products you can use on a Chromebook, because things are changing. Really, it used to be you got software that you downloaded onto your machine and you used it just on that machine and that's it. But things are changing a lot and very quickly, and more and more products are now available on your Chromebook, which is really great news. So we're then going to look at Aventido products just very briefly, just to explain how you can use them on a Chromebook. So I'll talk about things and then check if there's any questions on that section and then move on to the next bit. And at the end, we're also going to chat to Ryan, who is a DSA assessor, about his experience of talking to students and them using Chromebooks and anything that he has to comment on about that. So that's at the end of the webinar. Let's talk about it. So you've got a Windows device, which can be like the little image shows, like a big box. This computer is quite, you don't get them very much like this anymore, but you can get a PC like that, which you need a monitor and a mouse and a keyboard, or you can use a laptop, a Windows laptop. On those sort of devices, you download software onto them, but you can also use web apps, and you can use browser extensions on them, and they're very good for if you like to edit photographs and videos a lot, all the multimedia stuff, and also you can save all your documents onto that machine, and people like to do that because I suppose traditionally that's what you did. You had a computer and you just saved everything on there and you used that, especially when there was no internet. That's all you could do, isn't it? Downside is, especially with assistive technology, you usually can only download it onto that computer, or maybe two, but you can't use the same product on your phone or on a tablet or on someone else's computer. You have to use that particular PC. So that's the downside to it, but there are lots of advantages of using a Windows laptop or PC. MacBook is very similar. People tend to use MacBooks if they are all into multimedia and doing like pretty nice videos and photos and things like that on. They tend to be a bit more expensive, but they're the same as a Windows computer, as in you can download software onto it. and then use that on there. But they're quite expensive MacBooks to use. So then moving on, we've got phones and tablets. Of course, phone is really like a mini computer, isn't it now? It didn't used to be, but now it's got like your whole life on it. And you can download apps, so for Android or iOS, onto your phone, but you can also access the internet, so you can use web apps on your phone as well. And the touch screen, so it's quite nice to be able to just tap on rather than you always using a keyboard. And you can, with like an iPad or a tablet, you can buy a keyboard that you can plug in, so you could type if you wanted to on there, but the screen's small, so it's very hard to read on there. Probably want some text to speech to have it read to you. And you're limited with what you can do on a tablet or a phone, really, compared to a Windows laptop or a MacBook. So you probably wouldn't do all of your studying on a phone or tablet for that reason. It's just a small screen and you're limited. You can't download software onto there. You can't use extensions either, browser extensions like Chrome or Edge. You can't download those. So you are limited with what you can use your phone and tablet on when you're studying. And then moving on to the Chromebook. Now I'm going to move on to the next slide because I've just made it a bit bigger because we're focusing on Chromebooks today. So a Chromebook, it looks like a laptop, and you can use web apps, and you can use browser extensions, and you can also, on the newer Chromebooks, download most Android apps. So you can download those apps that you might use on your phone onto your Chromebook. And they are better value. Well, they're a little bit cheaper than a laptop. If you're spending the same amount of money, you'll get a faster processor in a Chromebook compared to like a Windows laptop. And they're very quick to switch on, and the battery lasts longer than a Windows laptop. Difference though is you don't download any software onto a Chromebook. The idea is you use everything that is in the cloud, in cyberspace. You don't actually save anything onto your laptop. You can plug in a USB drive and save there, but that's not the idea. The idea is that you've not actually got anything saved on there. It's all saved somewhere in cyberspace. And they're not particularly great for editing videos or photographs or anything like that. Or if you're a gamer and it's like a lot of graphics going on, Chromebooks probably aren't for you. But they are really great for everything else. You can do most things that you can do on a Windows laptop, you can do on a Chromebook. It's just you do it slightly differently. You do it in the browser or in an app. So that's that. So it uses a Chrome operating system, and you access everything in your Chrome browser, like I said, or download Android apps. So you have to have a Google account if you've got a Chromebook. But you don't have to have an internet connection all the time. Some people think, oh, but you have to be connected, you can't use anything on a Chromebook. You can work offline with lots of the Google applications. You can work offline, and then when you're connected again, it just saves everything. The battery lasts longer, like I said earlier, and you often can use touch screen on a Chromebook too, which is quite nice. Instead of having to always use a mouse or a trackpad, you can touch the screen. And you use Chrome extensions, which I will show you what I mean in a moment. So this is what, when you're on a Chromebook, this is what it looks like when you're trying to find the app you want to use, because it relies on you searching for things. You can't save stuff on your desktop on a Chromebook. That's kept free of anything. And you have what they call a shelf at the bottom. And these are commonly used apps on your Chromebook. Google apps are there. You can't choose to hide them, but other apps you can choose what you want there. And then there's the launcher at the bottom left, little button. which is where you click to search for something on your Chromebook, so find an app or find the files that you've got there. So that's sort of what a Chromebook looks like. A little bit different to Windows, a Windows laptop, but you can do most things the same. Right, so let's have a look at this chart that I've made, and then I'll see if there's any questions. So we've got different types of ways you get assistive technology. You can get downloadable software for your Windows PC or your MacBook. So you get a link and you click on it and it downloads that onto your device. Okay, so that's downloadable software. Usually that assistive technology is the all singing, all dancing. It has all the tools available for you in that software. A lot of assistive technology also has an app or multiple apps that work alongside the software. So you have an app, but sometimes they talk to each other. You can use it on your phone and then it saves on your computer, but quite often they're sort of separate. They do assistive technology stuff, but separately, if you know what I mean. Whereas we've got web apps. Now, web apps, as you can see on the chart, you can access these on any device. So you can go on your Windows laptop, on your MacBook, on your Chromebook, or on a tablet or phone and access web apps. What it means by web app is a website where you go and you log in to your account that you have, and you've got all your tools there, all your assistive technology tools there. So you just go into a website really, instead of using software that you've downloaded onto your machine. And the great thing about that is it's an account that's in cyberspace, so you can access everything from any device. You just log in, whereas you're restricted to your specific computer if it's downloadable software. And then we have browser extensions, which can be used on Windows, MacBooks and Chromebooks. You can't download browser extensions onto your phone or tablet. It's just the way the technology works. You just can't do that with the phones and tablets. Right, any questions about that so far?
We've got a slight question or more just like a statement, but I think what you just said there has kind of made it quite clear, because Jeremy said obviously there's programs like ProStudy, MindView, Global Task, PresentPal that are web-based, as yes. I say, like the web app, or they have web app parts with them and used across all platforms, as we said there. I think a lot of assistive technology now is getting closer towards being a bit more like this because of the accessibility it gets to, because we can obviously, as you know, that purple column is, you know, those web application programs, you know, like TextAid, like ProStudy, as we're all going to go talk to, are available everywhere. But yes, no, and I think this is coming in, which we'll go to find out. So
we will.
Nothing else on the Q&A. So
okay.
I'll let you carry on, Mary.
Okie dokie. Yeah, so some assistive technology has all of this. There's a downloadable software, there's an app for your phone, there's a web app, and there's a browser extension. So some have all four. So most have a couple of them. There's not many who is just software, it doesn't do anything else. Yeah. Right, so yeah, as you can see, web app is on every device. So that's a big advantage of some assistive technology that you can access everywhere, which is what you want, isn't it? You don't want to be restricted. Right, so let's talk about what's meant by Chrome extension. And also I want to talk about bookmarks, because I'm a big fan of bookmarks. As you can see, I've done a little screenshot of my the bookmarks on my Chrome account. I like to save bookmarks because it's so quick to get to the pages you want to. It's just like a shortcut. So I've got a shortcut to my TextAid account. So I just have to click on that and then it opens in a new tab and I'm on my web app. So I've got many different ones. I've got Find My Flow just there as well. Just quick access. And to do that, it's very easy. So if you don't know how to do that, let's just going to.
I'm glad you showed me, Mary, because I've got a little question about this that I didn't quite get.
Okay.
But I'll let you show me first, and if you might already
Okay.
answer it in your demonstration.
So let's see. So here I am on Google. Let's I want to save. I want to save Google just this page so I can quickly access it whenever, because I regularly go on it. So you just click on the address, so it all goes like that light blue color, so it's selected, and then just click and drag it down onto the bookmark. Can you see it's added now? Google here. If I didn't want all the text, I just wanted the little symbol, I can just right click, and then where do I go? Then I go edit, and then I could just delete that. And I thought at first, oh, but if you don't give it a name, it's not going to be there. It is. If I click save now, it's just a little icon for Google there, and now I can just quickly access the bookmark.
That was what my question was going to be, actually, because I like using the bookmarks. It's always good for your favorite pages, but I didn't realize you could just have the icon only. So
yes.
so just deleting by the name gives you that, and that effectively gives you more space as well.
Definitely, yeah. Also, it uses up loads of space, and I've got so many there. In fact, I've got so many that if I click on the little dots, I think I've got more. Or maybe I haven't.
I'll show them on mine because mine's embarrassing how messy
it is. Yeah. So you can go ahead and delete the names if you just want the icons. And now you can quickly, so if I wanted to go with my read speaker account, I can just click there, and there we are. And it remembers what I was doing last time. So if I can do the same with Find My Flow. So if I find my flow, there we go. Oh, it's not. It's not. I need to change the link there because it's changed. I need to save that. So right, so I can now, I'm going to click, drag it down, and I'm going to delete the other one because that was an incorrect link. So now I've got to Find My Flow. So let's right click, edit, let's get rid of the Find My Flow because I know the symbol. There we go. So I haven't logged in for I think it's 2 or 3 days. If you don't log in, yeah, I can just log in now if I wanted to. So that's what bookmarks are, and they're used just to quickly get to your web apps. I'd save them there just for quick access. And then we've got Chrome extensions. You can get web extensions for other browsers like Edge or Safari, but Chrome extensions are here. I've got a few. I've got HubSpot, Lightkey, Dragon, TextAid, ProStudy, MindMeister. And to get those, I just went to the Chrome Web Store. So if I go Chrome Web Store, and you just search for them. So if I wanted ProStudy, I've already got it. I can go ProStudy, and then it shows me. But I've added it. Look, it says. If I hadn't, just click on it, and it adds up to your little area on the top right. It actually defaults to not show the icon there. If you click on the jigsaw puzzle sign, you'll see that some of the pins are blue. That means that they're pinned on and you can see them. But if they're not, if they're clear, the extension is there, but it's hidden away. So if I clicked Lightkey unpin, look, it's disappeared from the top right. If I click on it again, it's there. Now, the Chrome extensions, they work in the browser. So I use the extension for TextAid to have websites read to me. So I'm using the toolbar on a web page. If I go, I'll find a website. So I go to a website, and then I can now use these extensions here. So if I wanted to dictate into something that was on the website, I could use the Dragon Web extension, which Sam will talk about in a minute. But and if I wanted to have it read to me, I could just click on text aid one, and then the toolbar appears. So that's Chrome extensions. And like I said earlier, you can use them on a Chromebook, and you can use them also on a Windows machine or a MacBook, but you can't actually use them on a tablet or phone. And they either work with software, which Sam will talk about definitely with ProStudy, or they're sort of a cut down version of the full software, just so that you can use it within the browser. So it varies a bit as to what you use the Chrome extension for. You just go to the web store to find that. So let's move that away. Any questions about Chrome extensions or bookmarks?
No, everyone's listening intently, so we're doing
Great.
very well. So
Great news.
Keep going.
Right, so now on to assistive technology. So you hopefully now have some understanding of what Chromebooks are, what you can and can't do on them. So what assistive technology is available? We're going to look at assistive technology that Aventido have, because we're all very familiar with it, and we know how it works and things. I've tried to do a bit of investigating about other products, but I don't know if I'm totally correct about what other assistive technology works well on a Chromebook or not. I'm hoping in the future to talk to everybody about it and get a good list of what does work and what doesn't, and how you access it. But Aventido products, we've got, so downloadable software. So spell assist, like Key, Dragon, Verity Spell, ProStudy, and Avi Fine Reader. These are all downloadable software. You download it onto your Windows computer and run it on there. But they also have added extras. So some have a web app, like TextAid isn't downloadable software, and neither is Find My Flow. They are they're just web apps, and so is MindMeister. So you go to the website, log in, and you use the technology there in your browser. Then there are, oops, I've gone too far. Then we've got browser extensions and apps. So there's products that you can have a browser extension for your Chrome browser. And you can also get apps for Android or iOS with the products there. So like TextAid and Dragon Anywhere, ProStudy, Abby Fine Reader, and Verity Spell. So the web apps and the browser extensions, or the apps, are the things that you can use on a Chromebook. You can't, like I've said a few times, that you can't download software onto it. Right, so I've already sort of shown you TextAid. I've already shown you the web app, so I just use my shortcut on my bookmarks to get into TextAid. I can also use the Chrome extension to have text read to me. With MindMeister, it's similar. You go to the website, so it's a web app to make your mind maps, and the Chrome extension is a shortcut to your mind map. So you can click on the Chrome extension and then click on the mind map you want to work on, and it's quick to get to. With Find My Flow, you simply go to the Find My Flow website, and you're logged in, unless you've not been there for a few days. And then you access everything Find My Flow in the browser on that web app. So that's what TextAid, MindMeister, and Find My Flow, that's how that works. Now Sam, because he's product specialist for ProStudy and Dragon, he will explain how that works. So I will stop sharing and pass over to you, Sam.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mary. I have a very short part today, which is very nice. So it was great to see all the effort that has gone into the presentation there and the information. And as I said, we all have our little product specialists here at Aventido. So I'm Dragon and ProStudy, as most of you probably already know. And Chromebooks are very much like, I would say, we're talking about, we've focused a lot on extensions. We've focused a lot on web apps in this session. And you're kind of thinking, I thought this session was about Chromebooks. But that's exactly what it is. A Chromebook is almost the vessel in which you get to these apps, and that is the method of getting there. So, having a Chromebook allows you to use all those apps, which a lot of assistive technology is based onto, and in some cases completely based on these days. Which is interesting. And as we said before, there are different levels in which people with extensions, which do get used on a Chromebook or with a piece of assistive technology. As I can share, I can't believe it's managed to hide itself today. Where have you gone, Dragon? There you go. Let me just move things over. I haven't pinned it. Again, the pin function is great for your assistive technology because you can just put that there. So the Dragon web extension is only really based kind of on Chrome, so you can then dictate with Dragon on Chrome. So as a Chromebook itself, Dragon doesn't necessarily work on there, but it has the two other applications in the sense that we have the Drag extension on a Chrome web page to dictate, and then we have the Dragon Anywhere app, which is available for your portable devices. So that's an example of kind of an installed software that has kind of other additions that maybe not as well linked. As we kind of mentioned before, some pieces of assistive software are kind of available across and fully workable in that sense. The other extensions, obviously, I've got TextAid on there myself as well. I think even Likey might be hiding around. So I haven't pinned that one. Naughty. I'll put that one up there too. But some programs, and this is the way the kind of technology is going a lot in this direction, and you can see that with like the new emerging programs that have come through, like TextAid, which is a completely web-based thing, and as is now ProStudy. The downloadable version of ProStudy will soon be phased out, and everyone who gets recommended ProStudy now is already here. But obviously we have a commitment to our past users as well. But they are obviously can all upgrade for free too. But we have our browser, that just our extension, just like the TextAid one. It comes up and can directly take me a link to the page where I can view everything. In fact, I've already got this open over here, and I have my ProStudy web app open. But the extension itself is a part of ProStudy as a package, because the extension is then used as the tool to collect with ProStudy when you go from page to page, grabbing those information to create all those wonderful research tiles that give you links back. In fact, as I said before, here's my my bookmarks bar without just icons, which I will be changing and getting my favorite stuff, because you can see down here, I've got an awful lot of rubbish that's all a big mess. And in fact, even ProStudy kind of took that kind of feature and added it to its own in there as well. So ProStudy has your projects that you collect, and your bookmarks bar will be directly with your project. So all of those are directly related to my psychology theories project on there. So that's just a little thing to touch on with bookmarks that we mentioned before that made me think about that slightly. But yeah, the thing I just wanted to kind of relay is, web apps are increasing. Programs are completely dedicated and based on this, and it's just the accessibility that everybody gets from this as well. Having programs like TextAid, like ProStudy, like MyMeister allow a student to be anywhere, at their friend's house, at the library, on their own DSA laptop, and they're still accessing all of their materials. We have a blended learning environment that we're part of now, the students are part of, and I think that instant access to their assistive technology is really important to them, and programs like this is what a lot of them are wanting and needing, because of that flexibility that we don't have to install on multiple computers. We can access it on any with our extensions, with the apps on whatever device it might be. So yeah, that was my little 2 cents there on our little form today. That's all I wanted to show you. We're not doing product demonstrations today, but I'll stop sharing. And what we're looking at now, Mary? Oh, you're muted.
We have a question. Is it easy to use Google Docs when a student types an assignment? For example, is it easy to upload the work via Turnitin? I don't know what Turnitin is. Oh, is that
do you not
have you
turn
typed it in?
Yeah, Turnitin is the it's like a plagiarism analysis software that a
Wow.
lot of universities require the students to process their files in. Another thing that I was to say, Google Docs. I mean, obviously you've used Google Slides today, and Google Sheets is something we use quite a lot as a business sense, Aventido, because of the collaborativeness behind them. And again, the collaborativeness behind Google Docs is really great too. They have improved a lot over time, and the compatibility with traditional Office packages is a lot more homogeneous now as well, isn't it? So
Yeah.
Google Docs can be saved as Word files. PowerPoint presentations can be opened on Google Slides. Google Slide presentation can be created and opened on Office 365. Again, I guess it's that constant accessibility of everything kind of flowing between. I mean, you can even think about it from a gaming perspective, which is a strange analogy to make, but like if you look at PlayStations and Xboxes and PCs with certain really popular games like the Call of Duty franchise, they are all now allowed to cross-play and play with each other. And technology is getting to that point, as I say, with these web app-based things where we can access them on all these different devices. So I think with the Google Docs, you can save them as Word files and then submit them to Turnitin that way in order for them to work.
Yeah, and you can get access Word online, can't you? On a Chromebook, and you can also download, I don't know how good it is, but you can download the Android version of Microsoft Word. I don't know if it's limited with the tools or what, but you can do that. So yeah,
there we go. Is James going to show us anything?
I think there's another question that's just come through.
Oh, okay.
How does Google voice recognition compare to Dragon, Sam?
Oh, I mean, I'm a bit biased to answer that question, aren't I? Surely. I mean, as I say, I mean, again, technology is forever improving, and things are getting a lot better. You know, I think in terms of a basic word processing way, you might use Google voice recognition to do some typing and add the odd bit of punctuation in. I think what you've got with Dragon is a whole host of commands to take your text to speech to text to the next level in terms of being able to control apps, send emails, even use assistive technology as well. From there. So you know, I think there's still a ways to go with Google, but for the basics, I think it's there. And Dragon has been recently purchased. I'll say recently, it's been nearly over a year now. It's owned by Microsoft, so you might see a lot more improvements to even Microsoft's own dictation things in the future. They're still keeping things very under wrapped.
And there's also a question, Sam, is a Pro Study extension essential, or can everything be done using the web app?
That is a really good question, actually, Tom. The Pro Study extension is essential for the collection of information. So although a student can access their Pro Study main page where they can view their projects and press the links and export them as well with their referencing, all that can be done on the page. But if they want to start a project and start collecting, each device they'll be on will need the extension on there to collect. They can use the Project Assist app on their portable devices to collect, and obviously then on a Mac, PC or Chromebook they'll have just a quick installation of the extension, and then they can be collecting on there. So yes, I would say it's pretty essential, but if you were just from a viewing platform, you could log in somewhere just to view if you wanted to.
Cool. Well,
Brilliant. My turn to talk about LightKey and Abby FineReader. So I'll just share my screen. So LightKey is traditionally downloadable software onto your Windows computer. But one thing I just want to quickly point out is you can just find the extension for Chrome right here and the Preferences tab under Applications, and it will quickly just bring you to the Chrome store. So you can download it there or see it for yourself. But LightKey itself on Chrome would work through the extension here. It works on any Chrome-based website. LightKey actually works anywhere, so I could use it with my Pro Study, for example, or other softwares I have on my Chromebook. But it'll show up like this, and it'll automatically just start working. It is reduced compared to what you would get if you were doing it on Windows with the desktop software downloaded. But as you can see, It's just going to start predicting as I write there, doing the text prediction. So that's essentially just how LightKey works, just through the actual Chrome extension there. The other tool I'm going to touch upon is Abby Fine Reader, which is how you OCR and make your PDFs accessible. And that would actually work through a downloadable Android app, which Mary mentioned is an option earlier. You would be able to OCR your PDFs directly onto there, making them accessible, editable. You'd be able to use all the functions that you would typically find in the downloadable software version, just on your Chromebook instead. You can also download that on your mobile as well, and potentially link your Google Drive account. But that was quite quick and simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think another point to make as well about particularly web-based applications, and I think, again, Mary mentioned it right at the beginning and start of the presentation, is when it comes with traditional PCs and Macs, is updating of software. And this is where, you know, students can fall and get a little bit stuck if there's an update for a piece of software. And you know, we're all in the habits of going, I haven't got time for that. I haven't got time for that. I'm not going to wait. I don't need to reset my laptop. I've got something I need to hand in. I'm not going to go through the downloading, the installing of running through the install wizard. That takes a lot of time. And sometimes if we're on pressure to do something, we're on there. Web apps like ProCity and TextAid and MindMeister for mind mapping, for example. You will never have to download an update as such. You might have to re-log in, but the downloads happen automatically because you're effectively accessing the server from the web page and using the software from there. So everybody gets the same version. Everybody gets all the updates, and everyone gets access to the new features without having to do something that they might get stuck in. Particularly if you're not, but people are quite apprehensive about being told they need to install something to the computer, because that's where the fear of viruses comes from. You know, with web apps, you're not having that thing because you're just logging into your account with your personal email address and your password that you've set, which is safe to you. So I think that gives people good reassurance as well, you know, with that type of software. So it's nice to always be up to date, working, and bugs get fixed nice and quickly as well.
Great. Yeah, and finally, moving on to Ryan. Are you there, Ryan?
I'm here in some capacity, yes.
Yeah. In the dark.
I'm in the dark. No, I'm honestly in the light, but I'm in the deepest, darkest depths of Victoria Station. So if anybody wants to know the next train's out, please let me know. But I apologise in advance for all the background noise. I thought I found somewhere quiet, but obviously it's not as quiet as I thought. So yeah, Mary's asked me to kind of give an assessor's perspective on kind of Chromebooks, and I think more and more I'm seeing more and more students coming to assessments who have Chromebooks or just purchased Chromebooks, because that's either what they've been used to in the past, or that's what they prefer to use as well, or even it's more of a kind of a cost-saving exercise. You know, with tuition fees being in excess of £9,000 a year, and then you've got all the living expenses on top. Students have got less and less money now to spend on higher spec computers, so they tend to go to kind of Chromebooks. But often a lot of students that I see who have Chromebooks have been working with Chromebooks since GCSEs, so it's just easier for them. You know, I know preference is not really a thing considered in DSA, but a lot of students find it difficult to kind of switch from one platform to another, so they tend to go with what they know. But that kind of poses a few issues, especially I guess with a lot of the software that we could recommend. It doesn't run on these platforms. So that's where I think all these online tools that we've talked about today really kind of come into their own. And I just want to allude to a bit more about kind of the cost side of things. You know, students have got less and less money nowadays, and then when we're asking them, oh, your Chromebook doesn't work, we're going to need to recommend you a DSA funded laptop, but by the way, you need to contribute £200 towards that. I think the expressions on student faces are like, where am I going to find that money from? Yes, there's probably student bursaries, but they're generally means tested, so they kind of, some of the family's income is probably higher than, you know, what would allow. So a lot of students are not able to afford it. So the beauty about all these online tools is there's a whole suite of AT out there that students can benefit from. In terms of speech to text, you've got the inbuilt functioning in Google Docs is really good. I think it's probably out of the free ones, it's probably the best one out there. Obviously, Dragon is premium, but where students aren't able to access that, then Google Docs or Google Voice is great. And then obviously you have the replacements for text aid as well, text to speech. You've got your Pro Study tools there as well. MindMaster is a great tool as well. But I think you also mentioned about kind of collaboration, and a lot nowadays with the, as Sam mentioned as well, that there's kind of, it's a blended approach to learning nowadays. It's not just about working online, it's working face-to-face as well, but a lot more students are working collaborative nowadays. And all of these programs really kind of allow for that to happen with, you know, not only just through the tools themselves, but also through the web apps as well. So yeah, there's so many tools out there. I think from an assessor's point of view, when I first heard about Chromebooks, I thought, oh no, not another Chromebook, what am I going to do? But now I've got a different kind of frame of mind with it about, it's not focusing about what they can't do, it's what they can do. You know, there are great organizational tools as well, especially if you're working within Google Docs, Google Drive, you know, everything's stored automatically. A lot of students who have organizational issues like ADHD, dyspraxia, ASD, for example, you know, this is a great tool for them because everything's stored automatically and in one place. So yeah, I'm all for Chromebooks. Santa, buy me a Chromebook.
Oh, thank you, Ryan. Yeah, it's really interesting to hear from your perspective what's happening with the students and Chromebooks. So I think it's the future. Hey.
It is the future. You're welcome, Mary. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, are you on mute, Sam?
Oh, yeah, I am. Like you say, I think technology moves very fast, but if you look at a lot of it, it's all kind of going in that same direction. I think Google just kind of got there a little bit before us all, and now we're just kind of seeing with it. Like I saw a thing in an American college of a group of old friends who are all in the same lecture together are opening up a Google Doc. They're all added as collaborators, so they all make notes together. So they've got their lecture notes together, but they're treating it fairly, because if you don't contribute, they were kicking them out, because they were like, you know, you don't want to just get free notes for being there, but you can see who's written what's going on there. You know, these kind of tools are really good. And as I say, as Ryan said, I think it is. Things are moving in the future, more these more web-based applications, and the accessibility that it gives to everything as well, in terms of being able to access it everywhere is really useful.
It is. Yeah, we have no more questions.
No, well, do we have anything on the chat?
Would you say a student's Chromebook, for example, drag in anywhere rather than the downloadable version? Are there any limitations to using Dragon Anywhere?
Right. Sorry, yes, I can see the question now.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess the sense of Dragon Anywhere is an app based on your phone or your tablet, creating your documents on that way, as opposed to perhaps being with the rest of your system, which might be on a PC. So I guess that is the kind of limitations in terms of where you might be with your other work or your other pieces of assistive technology, which is that. As Jeremy said, there was a question before that as well, I think, might have been said. Yeah. For the Aventido software, would you say a student's Chromebook is a definite no-no because certain software features are weak, non-existent?
I'd say for most, it's the opposite. It's it's better to have a Chromebook.
I think
equal.
Yeah, equal. Like you say, I think.
I will mention that Light Key on a Chromebook would obviously work through the extension, so you wouldn't get any of the analytics and the artificial intelligence. I've not done it myself, so I think it is reduced in its capacity in a Chromebook.
Yeah, as where Pro Study is, obviously it wouldn't matter of any device. You're getting all the same great features. PC, Mac, Chromebook, you're absolutely fine. Whereas obviously Dragon, I think you're limited a little bit. For text aid, Mary, what would you say that you're completely fine there? Or?
It doesn't matter. Well, if a student's got a laptop already or a Chromebook, then they don't have to pay the £200 to get a laptop if they want to have text aid. So I'd say it's an advantage if you're in that situation. You've already got your computer and you want some assistive technology. But yeah. So
that's interesting.
Is one of the drawbacks with Chromebooks that they rely upon the student having an internet connection Glean allows a user to remain logged in for up to 30 days without connection. Do the Aventido applications have similar services? Varies, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, to answer from the pro-study perspective, pro-study, you are pro-study is a centralized approach to your research. So if your research is on the web, you're going to be needed to connect to the internet anyway, because that's where the research is. The non-web based research, such as perhaps the only other thing would be non-web based would be if you were taking pictures live. Photographs documenting a experiment perhaps, or in field work, or in the library OCRing books and grabbing reference information from that. Those tools are done with the Project Assist app, so that would be the area you would go onto there. Otherwise you would need a connection, but I guess because it's such a research heavy thing, you would always be using it when you had an internet connection. Whereas, as you say, Glean is something where you're going to somewhere where you're sat down and listening to a lecture, and so you could be offline for that. And as I say, Chromebooks themselves can work offline, and then when they go back online, they just update everything because you're in the Google Drive space anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
And I guess the same would be similar with text aids. Like me, do you need the internet for text aid?
You do need it, yeah, to do the reading and the uploading. You could just look at the documents if you were offline, but that's not really using text aid. So yeah, that is a downside to it.
Yeah, it's go on, James.
So I'd like to know, Abby Fine Reader, even on a Chromebook through the app as well, that would be able to OCR offline and online as well as all the features you get. So that would still work.
Okay, that's interesting. As you say, there are certain parts of students of whatever you're working as a student where you can't work unless you have the internet. That's the bit that you have. I guess Glean, in a sense, it's unique in the service it offers because it's recording something that you're there happening. You're not viewing a lecture on the internet. You're out there live. So I guess there are certain offline features that work, but some features won't work till they're online, just like everything on the computer.
Yes. Jeremy says that our students will automatically get a £200 reimbursement for their DSA laptop charge. That's great.
Oh yeah, that is awesome.
Is that in Scotland, Jeremy? I don't know. Because I didn't think it was the case in England.
Yeah, I guess maybe if Jeremy lets us know what institution he's part of. No, he's in the East Midlands. Oh, he's not far from me.
Oh, I was born in Leicester, Jeremy. I'm an East Midlands girl. Oh, that's really great, Kelly. That some universities have set this up. That's really good.
I think, like, again, what Ryan was saying, with the cost and expense of being at university in this day and age where we're currently at, the universities being able to offer stuff like this will be a real great tool for the students, or a lifeline for them anyway. Definitely.
It's a difference between using assistive technology and not, isn't it? Sometimes.
But no, I'm really glad you guys enjoyed this. It was a fun little concept. It was nice to do something a bit different, and I think it's just something that's been very much on the tip of people's tongues, that people have been a little weary about, never quite sure, and just hope we've kind of given you a little bit more knowledge today in this area. And as I say, we'll revisit it in the new year again, maybe with some other tweaks and some other questions that might come for people as well.
Yeah, I think it's assumed that people just automatically know what a Chromebook is, and that's not the case. So, so.
As if you pointed at one and it was switched off, you wouldn't know. You could think it was a PC, So there's bits in there.
And it's not just for internet browsing, which is what some people think. It's just
I learned that one today as well. Yes. I did. So that's very good.
Fab.
Excellent. I think everybody is waving goodbye to us all now.
Good day. Thanks,
so
everyone.
We might just end it there. There doesn't appear to be any more questions, but thanks all for joining us this, I say, beautiful Thursday. It is beautiful now, actually. I had biblical rain and now it's blue skies. So
now
there we go. Look at that. Look at what this webinar has done. It's turned the day around.